Hey everybody, David here with T&D Sports Cards. Welcome to another new video. And today we're gonna do another one of these Megacards packs. These have been a lot of fun. We found some pretty nice stuff in here. The first one we opened, we found some cards that were from like a bunch of cards from the 70s. And the second one, we found some pretty nice ones, including a John Van Beesbrook rookie card. So as you can see on the top here, there's a card from the 81 set, so we know we got some cards going back pretty old, and these were put together, I don't know, sometime probably in the late 80s, I'm guessing. There doesn't appear to be a copyright on it, and it's got the same back as the previous ones, where it's talked about a Wayne Gretzky rookie being worth about $25 in mint condition. So we know these go back a pretty long ways, but there's always been a really nice mix of cards between the Topps and the OPC in here. We even found some nice stickers, I think, from like either 85 or 86 in the last one. So let's get into this and see what we can find. $50 different hockey cards. We got a Peter Stastny on the back there. That looks pretty good. And finding a Hartford Whaler on the top. That's always a nice thing. I don't get tired of looking at those sweaters. Those are always one of my favorite ones, along with the Nordique and the Jets. All right, so we got, let's see, I don't know if these are all stickers in here. In the middle here, let's see. Well, these are leaders cards. Okay, so we got a checklist. Okay, we got a Brian Propp. That's nice. He was a super good player. So these are from 87, it looks like. Mike Liut, Brian Hayward, who went on to have a really lengthy broadcasting career, at least with ESPN. I wonder if he'll be back with ESPN since they have the rights in the U.S. again, starting next season with television coverage. And Sean Burr. All right, so that takes care of our mini cards, our leaders cards. And it looks like we have a ton of 89 cards here. All right, so we have an 81 super action card of Mike Rogers. And this is a Rangers team card, I guess, a Rangers leader card. And we have, yes, these are all, looks like they're all 89 cards here. We got a Clark Gillies from 91. We got a couple Islanders hiding in there. All right, so we'll go through all our 89s, which I think that's what all these are here first. So we got Scott Mellanby, Gordon Dean, Bob Gould, Craig McTavish. Craig McTavish, I think he was the last player that played without a helmet. And I always found it interesting that, like, early in his career, he wore a helmet. At least when he played with the Bruins, he did. And then later on, he didn't. I know when he was with the Rangers, he definitely didn't have a helmet. And I do remember him playing for the Oilers without one, too. So I guess at some point along the way, he decided he didn't want to wear one. But as I said before, I think he was the last one that survived the grandfathered rule when they mandated wearing helmets sometime in the 80s. All right, so we got Tim Waters, Hanu Jarienpa. Did I say his name correctly? I'm sorry, Javinpa. Or is that how it's pronounced? That's interesting. His name is spelled differently on the back of the card than it is on the front. Huh. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a card before. I wonder if that's an error. I don't know, but I can't say that I recognize that name. Joel Otto was very good. Brian Bradley was the first, I believe he was the first pick in the expansion draft of the Tampa Bay Lightning before the 91-92 season, and he had a couple of good seasons with them, which was obviously later in his career. But he was a pretty good player for them. Even with the Canucks, he was okay before that. Ulf Samuelsson, another piece of the big trade from Pittsburgh and Hartford. This is an interesting card. Is this intentional? Yeah, it must be. Sabres team card. I don't remember them having a blank look in the front. But then again, that Ranger card might have been blank too. But that looks like Dave Andreychuk, that's for sure. We got Randy Moeller. It says now with the Rangers. Claude Lemieux. I wasn't exactly a huge fan of his. And this is a Bruins team card. So yeah, I guess they are blank in the front. And it looks like Craig Janney behind the net there, along with Cam Neely in the foreground. Steve Conroyd. And we have a Blues with, that's got to be, that looks like Greg Millen. That's definitely Greg Millen. I guess this was before he was traded to the Blackhawks. Alan Bester, Basil McRae, Chris Kostopoulos with the Red Wings. Tommy Albaline, the Devils. I think he might have made it to 95. He might have been on that team when they did win the Cup. I'm not positive about that, but he was kind of like a seventh or eighth defenseman for years with the Devils. Randy Velishek, who went on to be a radio announcer for the Devils for many years. This is an Islander team card. That looks like David Volek. I will always have a place in my heart for David Volek. In fact, I might have even talked about this card once before because he's paired with a Penguin, and that's where my place, where his place in my heart is for scoring that big goal in Game 7 in the 93 Patrick Division Final. Mikko Makela, from what I remember, he had one really good year, and that was 87-88. He looked like he was going to be a big goal scorer, and then he just kind of faded away after that. And another checklist. All right, so no huge stars there, but we found some decent cards. All right, so we have some 81s here. We have a really nice Islander and Stefan Persson, an even nicer one with Clark Gillies. A little miscut. The Persson is a little centered a little better. Reggie Leach, that's a very nice one. Ed Johnstone. Don Maloney, Randy Carlisle. We have a 80, is this 85 or 86? This is 86, Scott Stevens. Okay. Yeah, I was never a really big fan of his. I liked him when he was actually with the Capitals. He was actually a big offensive defenseman. He was, even when the one year he played with the Blues, he had a pretty good offensive season. But he really kind of became really a dirty player, in my opinion. I mean, he was a tough guy, and he was a good guy to have on your team. But I think he was one of those guys, if he wasn't on your team, you really didn't like him too much, especially all those years he was with the Devils. Bob Froese, Bob Brook, Thomas Janssen. That's another nice one. We have another Islander here with Dwayne Sutter. Mo Mantha. We have a Hall of Famer and Bernie Federico. I feel like I may have even found this card before. Steve Larmer. Now these are from '88. Steve Larmer is, to me, like really borderline. Like he could be in the Hall of Fame. He was one of the, I guess he was a Hall of Very Good, as some people call it. Hakan Lube. He was a big piece of the Flames when they won the Cup in '89. Kirk Muller. Oh wow, that's a super nice card. It's too bad it's got a little ding on the bottom here. I think this is the last, this was the last card of his. Because I think the 87-88 season was the last year that Billy Smith played. That's too bad about that corner there. That's a nice little ding there. It's centered really nice. Glenn Wesley, who he looked like he was going to be a really good player, like an offensive defenseman, and he really just kind of, he was traded to Hartford and went on and played in Carolina. I mean, he had a good career, but I think he had a lot more promise than what he ended up being for the majority of his career. We have Tom Barrasso, and the last card is Peter Stastny. This is from the 84-85 set. This is Topps. That's a nice card. All right, so that was a pretty good pack again there. These are always fun. I love going through these because you get a nice mix of cards as we did again here. Got a bunch of some 86s and some 81s and a ton of 89s. But as I said, this was fun. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. And we will, I guess we'll see you this weekend with our weekend way back. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you then. Take care. Thanks for watching.